Hi, this is Susie with Creative Cafe, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how I made the organizers. And this organizer here that I'm going to show you is a 9 by 6, but you can make them 12 by 6. You'll probably want to keep them at 6 inches, that way you can kind of use less paper, because a 12 by 12, you cut it down, you've got two 6-inch pieces you can use. So that's why I've just kept mine at 6 inches. Anyway, I did use chipboard for my covers, and I don't have this one together because I'm going to do the last page for the tutorial. The band holds the little pad on, and I do it so that you can slip it out and just replace it. And anyway, I'm using K & Company's Around the World paper for this one, and the colored file folders from Walmart. And anyway, this is kind of what this one will look like that I'm working on right now. I used a lot of the little embellishments from that line, and I added a pocket right there, and then of course I'll have my last insert there for the file folder. So anyway, that's kind of what it will look like. What you're going to need, though, if you're doing the 9 by 6, you're going to need 6 sheets of pattern paper. You're going to need 4 file folders. You can use 5 file folders, 6 file folders, just however many you want. 1 sheet of cardstock to kind of make your pockets, and then something to embellish with, whether it's from the paper line or just something you already have, and 8 eyelets if you're going to use eyelets. Now, you don't have to use eyelets. I just put them on there because I like the way they look. But anyway, I'm going to use just a plain manila folder to show you how I cut my folders. And what I do is I simply just place it in, and this is the one, I better go this way first, the one that has actually the file folder part. What I do is I just simply cut it just above that crease line. Just set it in there and just cut it above the crease line so it looks like this. Now, my other piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it where those crease lines are there, or those lines, because I don't want those lines. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I want to cut this at 6 inches. So I'm going to measure my 6 inches, and then I'm going to cut it at 9 inches. Now, you probably won't be able to see my arm hung out there, I don't know, in the camera, but anyway, so what I've done is I've just cut the other piece of the file folder a 9 by 6, and I'm going to use this to put paper on this side and paper on this side, and that becomes a little sturdier for my page. And I'll show you, this is my last page. I already have this done, but I paper one side and then I paper the other side, and then that way it's just sturdier, and it just uses the other part of the manila folder. So that's what that is. Now, for the file folder part, I'm going to take, because this is the part that I want to show, I'm going to cut off the end, and I'm going to measure it at 9 and just cut it off. Now, I did round the corners on mine. I rounded the corner here and here and here. But what I did, and I didn't measure these out, I just kind of looked. I knew I wanted like a 1/2 inch, right at a 1/2 inch for it to be lower than that. So that's how I did that. Then I took and if you don't have a Tim Holtz ruler, just measure it wherever you want it. But I measured it at a 1/2 inch. I don't know if I can get this in here or not, but I measured it from my fold here, from this piece that's up. I measured a 1/2 inch down and a 1/2 inch over, and I did that on all 4s. And with the Tim Holtz ruler, it already has the 1/2 inch square there, so it just kind of helps you out a little bit. And then what I did was I just took I did both sides, and then I just took my crocodile and I punched out all 4 holes. and then I just set my eyelet in, is what I did. And that was the basis of this. I didn't put any sticky strip in this part of it. What I did was, it pretty well holds it. I mean, it's open, but there isn't nothing going to fall out of there with those eyelets in. Then what I did do is I put sticky strip then, and I used a 1/2 inch on mine, but now a 1/4 inch probably would have worked. It's just that this is for somebody else, and I wanted to make sure that it was good and sturdy and would not fall apart. So that's why I put so much, or the 1/2 inch sticky strip there. Then on the cinch, and I'm going to try to show you how I set up my cinch. What I did was I used all 12 hole punches, and then I pulled this little tray out to 2.5 inches. This pops in, and then I just extended it out to 2.5 inches. And then what that did was simply center my holes for punching. So that's how I did it on the cinch. Now if you don't have a cinch, that's not what you're using, then what I would do on my bind-it-all, if you have a bind-it-all, what I would simply do is I would put my bind-it-all, punch it the 6 holes here, turn it, and punch it the 6 holes here, and just have 2 sets of holes there. Or you could use O-rings. That's another way you could go. And then you could just kind of put them wherever you wanted. So I've got my holes punched. And what I did, like I said, is I did put the 1/2 inch sticky strip on it. And this is simply what I do. I just like that extra addedness for when it's going to someone else, because it's if it was mine, I'd use the 1/4 inch sticky strip, because it would hold good enough for me, and if it come a little loose, then you know, I could repair it. So I'm going to have to turn this to me. But what I'm doing is I'm going to set this just a little bit. I'm going to set this just a little higher than the holes is what I'm going to do. I want it to come down here, the file part, but I don't want it in the binding holes. So I just kind of look at it, and I just pretty well line up this side here, and when I do, it'll lay pretty even. So, but anyway, this is what it looks like when you get the file folder on. And with my 1/2 inch, I mean, it's good and sturdy. It's not going to come apart anywhere. So anyway, that's basically how I put the folder on and how I folded it. And the back, of course, will just be plain for some kind of embellishment there. So for the band, on the band part, I wrote it down somewhere. I'm not sure what I did with it. So for the band that holds this little sheet on, all it is 6 by, and I've got right at 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches by 6, or if it's too close to your next one, you can just kind of trim a little bit off after you punch your holes. And all I did was just set it in the bind-it-all and kind of centered it for the holes. And then I did use a 1/2 inch sticky strip here and a 1/4 inch sticky strip on this side, on here and here, to hold it. So, and then all it does is just simply place that pad in there, and then that's that. So anyway, that's pretty much how I did this. I hope that helps you. Thanks so much for watching.